What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're going to jump in with a bunch of Destiny 2 Forsaken news. So we're going to talk about upcoming activities in the Dreaming City. There appears to be a couple of secret activities we'll gain access to in the future, and this includes the heroic Blind Well. This also seems to link to the return of Morro in some form, as well as Morro's throne world. We'll speak about that in a moment, as well as the evolution of Dreaming City. We're also going to talk about exotic quests, a new bow that you can now get in the game, some bugs and things to know about this week, and a bunch of patch changes that dropped into the game just yesterday. There's some pretty interesting stuff to talk about there. So if you guys do enjoy the video, a rating below is very much appreciated. If you're new around here, feel free to hit subscribe if you do enjoy the content, but for now, let's get straight into it. So we're going to start out by talking about the Dreaming City. There's a ton of secrets in this space, and there's still stuff we've yet to discover, but it looks like it's going to take a couple more weeks until we get the opportunity. And this would include the heroic Blind Well, or the Blind Well version with the unstable charge of light. And there is going to be a secret fourth mode for the Blind Well. Now, a lot of folks have been trying to figure out exactly how you trigger it, but Lord Rages on Reddit actually posted that there's some in-game lore which speaks about this, and this is from the Throne lore tab. Essentially, it says that the Blind Well needs to be charged for multiple weeks in a row, and once it's fully charged, a portal inside of the Confluence is going to open up. The Confluence is an area which is actually located directly underneath the Blind Well, and it looks like this is where we'll use the unstable light charge to actually get into that next heroic version of the Blind Well. But according to that lore, the well does need to be charged for a few weeks in a row to actually be able to do this. And so it looks like the secret fourth kind of tier of the Blind Well is something that will unlock over time. But in the lore tab, they talk about how they actually built the Blind Well. And there was also a few statements that refer to Morro's throne world, which is pretty interesting because there are some other triumphs in the game, including visiting the Queen's Court every time the Queen is present. So it looks like the Queen will be returning, and Queen's Court, of course, is a new area or activity. It could indeed be the name of the fourth tier of Blind Well. But with them referencing her throne world so much, it also seems that it will link to this triumph where you have to enter Morro's throne world. So there is some pretty interesting stuff just around the corner, and it looks like the lore is actually tipping us in the direction of what is going to happen. And we already know of exotics and things which are actually time-gated and locked away. One would include the Wish Ender bow. This is the Awoken themed bow. It's possible that this could be linked to the hidden tier of the Blind Well. There is also the Awoken talisman item that we still have in our inventory, and you've also probably noticed these kind of crystals, or Awoken eggs as some people are enjoying to call them, located all over the Dreaming City. Currently we can't damage them, so either it's something that we'll be able to do over time, maybe we need a specific weapon in order to take them out, but these are definitely going to be linked to a pretty important quest, maybe an exotic quest in the future. Also, if you look on Bungie's roadmap for the Forsaken season launch, you can see that you've got September 14th Last Wish Raid, September 18th Iron Banner, the Crucible mode Breakthrough going live on the 25th, then you've got Festival of the Lost in October, and it also says and more, including the evolution of the Dreaming City. So I don't know whether that's something that's actually going to happen after Festival of the Lost, whether we'll maybe see Dreaming City updated over time in the annual passes, or whether it simply references updates to content that become available over a series of weeks in the Dreaming City. We should also bear in mind we haven't actually had the Last Wish raid yet, and it seems possible that this could definitely open up a bunch of other content in the following weekly reset. So definitely some very interesting stuff right there. Looks like on another week we'll get the heroic Blind Well actually come up. But on the subject of Iron Banner, which is returning on the 18th of September, we can now get a look at a couple of new weapons. Right here we can see the new scout rifle for Iron Banner, kind of similar to the Gambit models for the weapons, but they have been updated a little bit. Definitely not the worst looking Iron Banner weapons that we've seen. If you guys would like me to do a full video on all the new banner weapons, then let me know down in the comment section. But of course, inside of this week's reset, we've gained access to some new content. There is a new Ascendant challenge in the Dreaming City. I made a video about that yesterday, which I'll link below if you want a guide for it. Otherwise, it doesn't appear that too much has changed in Dreaming City outside of actually getting new content and milestones and stuff. Pretty interesting random fact though, some folks were tracking down the Viced bow. So we saw a Viced bow before launch quite a few times, and no one had had it dropped last week. However, after this week's reset, it has begun to drop, so it's the Arsenic Bite, the Viced bow. It's a lightweight frame bow, and the roll I got right here has Archer's Tempo as well as Explosive Head, and then we've got Rampage. Archer's Tempo is actually a pretty fun bonus. Draw time decreases after every precision hit, so if you keep landing those precision shots, it charges much quicker, and that's a bunch of fun. Quick warning though about some of Petra's bounties. There is one which rewards the offering to the Oracle, and this can give you the bounties for the Purification Ritual. Some of them right now are not actually achievable, but they can grant you the Transcendent Blessing mods. However, there appears to be a bug this week where if you get the Oracle to the offering dropped onto your character, and then if you fast travel or leave a fire team, there is a risk that you can actually lose the item. A lot of people have lost it this week. So if you get the Oracle to the offering dropped, try and be in the Dreaming City when you turn the bounty in, then go straight to the Oracle itself and turn it in. Now, a lot of people in the game have been talking about mod components and how difficult they actually are to obtain. There are some pretty useful farms for this. So one would be the Hollowed Lair Strike on the Tangled Shore. Folks are essentially farming that boss, kill trading with that boss to get some of the unique Tangled Shore drops, which have a very high chance of coming with a mod equipped. And then of course you can break them down and you will get the mod component. But there is another cheeky trick that a few people have found. So when you acquire the Braytech RWP Mark II Scout Rifle, the legendary version right here from the collection, you can break them down and you'll see you actually get a mod component. So this is kind of a little broken farm right here. You also get legendary shards and glimmer back. So essentially to get one mod component, I think it's spending a couple of gunsmith materials and one legendary shard per time, but definitely worth doing if you want to try and pick up some of Banshee's mods. Mod components are pretty slow at the moment in the game. Now though, I wanted to talk about a patch that Bungie dropped yesterday. There are a few fixes you may want to know about. So there were some general sandbox fixes, issues with a couple of the exotics. They fixed an issue where Lord of Wolves could lose ammo, and an issue where Ace of Spades visual effects from the Memento Mori perk would persist when swapping weapons. DMG added that they fixed the problem where non-Forsaken players received items that required Tangled Shore materials. They increased the drop rates for Year 2 mods. And an issue where Lord of Wolves exotic was not dropping at expected rates, so they've actually increased the drop rate for Lord of Wolves, which of course can come from the Spider's bounties. For weapons though, they fixed an issue where explosive payload was dealing less damage than intended, so if you'd experienced that bug, it has now been sorted. Some other stuff for abilities, a bunch of basic issues with bounties and triumphs, other things in the economy, as well as a couple of technical things right there. Definitely appreciate the fixes to things like explosive payload and Lord of Wolves especially, but there are some other quality changes there as well. It looks like we're likely to get more hotfixes. There are quite a few bugs in the game right now, which is kind of to be expected with a huge launch like this one, but I'll keep you posted if any additional details roll around from Bungie. Before we finish the video, a lot of people have been asking me about my progress in Forsaken. Folks asked what level I am and stuff like that. So I guess we'll do this for a change. We'll take a look at how I'm getting on. So I only have kind of one main character that I've been working on right now. And if I maximize this character, I'm at 527, so kind of high. Not the absolute highest, but I'm doing fairly decently. Did manage to infuse the Whisper of the Worm up to 529 right here. The only new exotic I've actually got would be the Black Talon. Exotics are much rarer right now in the game. I actually got this one when I was playing inside of the Vanguard Strike playlist. I believe it was one of my powerful drops. And these are a couple of drops, the Twilight Oath as well as Smuggler's Word at 530 that I've had in the past day or so. I'm actually trying to collect as much Reverie Dawn gear as possible. So these do have the Riven's Curse mod that allow you to do 25% bonus damage in Dreaming City, which is pretty awesome. I got one Transcendent Blessing mod right here that you can get from the Purification Ritual bounty. I managed to get this one last week. Unfortunately, the bounties I have won't allow me to get another one this week, so I guess this will be my lot going into the raid if I'm actually a decent level by then. But I just managed to get the boots right here, so I'm still hunting down the class item. I'd love to have a full set of this stuff with the mods to jump into the raid. Then of course I can throw different exotics on and stuff like that. I did also get the Tara Battle Celebration mask finally for the Titan right here, which I think is a pretty cool looking helmet. These also tend to come with mod drops as well, so I got the super mod on this one, which is pretty awesome. And these can drop as Baron specific loot, essentially, so Hollowed Lair is a pretty good place to get them. Any of the daily missions that are from Forsaken, you get a chance to collect some of this pretty crazy looking gear. And otherwise, that's kind of the bulk of my progress. I actually left a lot of the exotic quest stuff, so I've got a lot to catch up on this week, but the good thing is that I can get powerful drops from these, which is pretty cool. And I'm probably going to grind out a lot of this stuff over the next couple of days, so that's pretty much my progress so far in Forsaken, guys. I can't really list many god rolls that I've got or anything like that. I don't think I've got too many insane rolls of weapons. But I'd love to hear down below how you guys are getting on with that power level, or any awesome rolls that you've got, any favorite exotics of yours. For now though guys, that is going to summarize today's video, so I hope you have enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts down below, any speculation you have about the tier 4 blind well and when that's going to roll around, as well as Marasoft's throne world. Definitely that stuff is going to be linked to some pretty cool quests. And like I said, I would bet that the Wish Ender is going to be tied to some of this kind of upcoming Dreaming City evolution. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, but if you have enjoyed the video, a like is very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more D2 content. Also check out my sponsor, Into the AM, who have some really awesome clothing in their store. Cool graphic t-shirts, hoodies, hats, bandanas, a bunch of different accessories. And you can save 10% in their store using code Houndish, so the link for that will be down below. For now though, very much appreciate you guys tuning in, and whatever you get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.